Speak up one time. What'd you say? Sorry.
There's 3 ones and then 2 equations.
There's 3 ones.
And 1 normal, 1 without the absolute value, and 1 that we distribute.
Sorry, 1 normal one without the absolute value is how you would read that. So we're going to split it into 2 different inequalities. 1 normal one without the absolute value, and 1 that we distribute -1 to. 1 normal. I feel like that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 normal one without the absolute value, and 1 that we distribute -1 to inside the absolute value. I know that sounds weird.
And 1 that we distribute -1 to inside the absolute value.
Yeah, it'll make more sense when we see it. But again, I just wanted a sentence there to start us off, so that if you see one on the test and you're like, ooh, I don't even know what to do, and then you look at the examples and you're like, I don't even know what we did, this is what we did. I try to make it as simple or like non-mathematical language as possible. So 1 normal one, we'll see what that means. Okay? For example, if I have the absolute value of x plus 5 is less than 3. And I'll give you guys time to finish writing that. I know that's a lot to write. Go ahead and set up that first example. Okay, so we got the absolute value of x plus 5 is less than 3. What we're going to do is we're going to split this up into 2 inequalities, okay? The first inequality is going to be a normal one, just without the absolute value. So this is going to turn into x plus 5 is less than 3. So far, so good? All we did was take down the absolute value signs. We didn't change anything. Now let's change stuff. Okay, for the second one, we're going to take this, and we're going to distribute -1 to each term inside those absolute value signs. So I'm going to distribute it to the x, and I'm going to distribute it to the 5. Okay, it's a little bit different than when we talked about absolute value equations. Right? We still split it up into 2 back then, but what we did was we took this number over here and we flipped the sign. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe, maybe not. We'll talk about it before our final, don't worry. But for this one, we're going to distribute -1 to the x. We're going to distribute -1 to the 5. Okay? What is -1 times x going to give me? Negative x. What is -1 times 5 going to give me? -5. Is less than 3. All right, now we're just going to solve. Each of them separately though, right? How can I solve this first one? Just one step. What do I need to do? -5. I'm left with x is less than what? -2. Okay. What do I need to do over here? Add 5. I get negative x is less than 8. Then what do I do? Divide by negative 1. What happens when I divide by a negative 1? I got to flip my symbol, so now I've got x is greater than negative 8. Right? Any questions on how we did that first part? Okay. Now we're going to graph it. We're going to make a little number line. We're going to have negative 8 to the left, negative 2 to the right. What am I going to put above my negative 2? Open dot. What am I going to put above my negative 8? Open dot again, because there's no little equal sign bar underneath our symbols.
And they're both going the same way.
They're both going the same way. Well, this from negative 2, we should be pointing to the left. From negative 8, we should be pointing to the right. So what are we going to do with these two dots? We're just going to connect them.
Oh, I forgot, because they changed.
Yeah, and we didn't get to this part, so don't worry. But that's what we would do, right? Because look, it's got to be less than negative 2. Okay, that's to the left.
No, it's just I thought that they were going the same way because I forgot that you were supposed to flip the symbols.
That's right. Yeah, when we divided by negative 1 here, we flip that symbol. Okay? But if I'm greater than negative 8, that's got to be to the right. So my solution is anywhere between negative 8 and negative 2, but it can't be negative 8 and it can't be negative 2. Right? Let's see what this means, right? Let's say I take one of these solutions in here, negative 7, sure, right? Negative 7 should be a solution. It's included in there. Let's plug it back in to our original inequality here, negative 7. This is just a way for us to check our work. It's not something we necessarily have to do. What is negative 7 plus 5? Negative 2. Okay, what's the absolute value of negative 2? 2. So we end up with the statement 2 is less than 3. Is 2 less than 3?
Yes.
Yes, it is. This is true. So we know that our answer is right. Why is this not playing? Okay. So again, it's not something you have to do, but it's a way that you can check your work, especially on a test or something, to make you feel a little bit better. Okay. Quick show of thumbs. How are we feeling about that? Thumbs up. We're feeling pretty good. It's not too bad. Hopefully, it's not too bad. Okay. Let's do another one. Let's see. Was this an intersection or was this a union? Intersection, right? Because they connect. Let's see what a union is going to look like here. Let's say I've got the absolute value of 2m minus 9 is greater than 13. Okay, I'm going to split these up. My first one's just going to be normal. It's just going to be 2m minus 9 is greater than 13. What's my second one going to look like? It's still going to end in greater than 13. But what is my 2m going to turn into? Negative 2m. And what's my minus 9 going to turn into? Positive 9. We just, essentially all we're doing is flipping the sign of each term inside the absolute value. Like we did up here. X and 5 were both positive. Well, now x and 5 are both negative. Down here, 2m is positive, 9 is negative. Now 2m is negative, 9 is positive. Right? Then we're just going to solve. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides over there. Boom, 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 boom. I get 2m is greater than, what's 13 plus 9? 22. Over here, I get negative 2m is greater than, what's 13 minus 9? 4. For this purple one, what do I have to do now? Divide by 2. What's 22 divided by 2? 11. So I get m is greater than 11. Over here, what do I need to divide by? Negative 2. What's that going to do to my symbol? Going to flip it around. M is less than negative 2. All right? Yeah.
How'd you get negative 2 plus 9?
Right here?
Yeah.
Good question. So what we do with this second one is we are essentially taking a negative 1 and distributing it to everything inside the absolute value. So my purple one was just normal, right? I just dropped the absolute value. For this red one, I'm distributing negative 1 to 2m. That gives me negative 2m. And I'm distributing negative 1 to negative 9, which gives me positive 9. Yeah, we're just inverting everything inside the absolute value. Great question. All right. Now, we might not be able to tell right away. Yeah.
What happens to the absolute value for the one you distribute negative 1?
Say that one more time.
For the absolute value, whenever
Yeah.
you distribute by negative 1, what happens to it?
You're talking about with this red equation right here?
Yeah.
So after we distribute it, we just drop the absolute value sign. Because it's kind of like in the other absolute value lesson we did, right? We had like, well, let's just look back. When was it? It's going to take me forever, just like yesterday. If you can find what lesson it is before me, I'll give you a piece of candy. I can't even remember what it was. But after this. Was it systems? No. Elimination? No. What lesson was it?
I didn't like the number down by the title equation.
Well, I need the number. If I don't have the number, that doesn't help. Was it, did you write the date on there? What's the date?
8/29.
Oh, that was a long time ago. Haha. Here we go. Okay. So what we did on August 29th, which sounds like it was like years ago, right, Tyler? We had this little equation where when we split it up into two, one with a positive 20, one with a negative 20, we drop the absolute value. Okay? So when we split it up, we just drop the absolute value, treat it like a regular equation. Okay? Does that answer your question? Yeah, we just get rid of both of them. Another great question. Where am I at? Here we go. Okay. So now, if we want to figure out if this is an intersection or a union, all we have to do is graph it. Here's my number line. There's negative 2. There's 11 all the way down there. What am I going to put above negative 2? Open dot. What about 11? Open dot. if m has to be less than negative 2, what direction is my arrow going to go here? To the left. And if m can be more than 11, where's my purple arrow going to go? To the right. Would this be an intersection or a union? Union. So my answer is m is greater than 11 or m is less than negative 2. All right. Does that one sound okay? Okay, let's do one more. Let's do a weird one, shall we? Last one. Absolute value x minus 6 is greater than or equal to negative 5. Just get up and pass it next time. Thank you. All right, let's split this up. The first one's going to be normal. X minus 6 is greater than or equal to negative 5. What's my not normal one going to look like?
Negative x plus 6 is greater than or equal to.
Good. All we did was flip the x to a negative, flip the negative 6 to a positive. Okay. For this one, we're going to add 6 to both sides. This one, we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. For my purple normal one, I get x is greater than or equal to 1. For my red flipped one, I get negative x is greater than or equal to negative 11. And then I got to divide by negative 1, which flips my sign or symbol. Gives me x is less than or equal to 11. Looks fine, right? Looks normal. Why is this one weird, though? Take a look at what we ended up with. Yeah.
Because it has to be both greater than 1 and both greater than 11.
Well, it's got to be less than 11.
Yeah, never mind.
That's all right. Let's see. Here's 1. Here's 11. Close dot at 11. Close dot at 1. Oh, is this one just normal? Doesn't look right to me. Hold on one sec. I have negative 10. Zero. I don't know. I'm sure that's fine. Something's wrong with that, but we're not going to worry about it until it's a problem, and then I'll worry about it. When I figure out what's wrong with that, I will let you know. All right, let's take a look at worksheet. What is it?